Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back to our examination of chapter 2 of Fusus al-Hikam. This is round 3 of our analysis. We have analyzed this chapter. We have basically finished this chapter twice, and we are drilling for a third time, examining more closely some points that we did not in the previous videos. I'm going to take you back to the beginning of this chapter again. At the beginning of this chapter, Ibn Arabi said that there are two kinds of people who ask for things. Those who ask for things because of their hasty nature, and those who ask for things not because they are hasty, but because they know that there are some bestowals from God that follow human requests. You should ask so that God gives. So they ask God thinking that maybe what I'm asking might be one of those instances. This looks very simple, but it is not. Ibn Arabi, as the famous Turkish commentator Ekrem Demirli elegantly points out, Ibn Arabi here is criticizing early Sufis who examined the relationship between contentment, rida, with gratitude, with being grateful towards God. But they took it to the extremes in the sense that they considered everything that came from God as something to be obeyed silently, something to be endured silently, even if that is suffering. They went to the extreme in the sense that if God gave you such and such disease, a severe disease, you must silently tolerate it. But is it always the case? For Ibn Arabi, it is not. He criticizes such Sufis, saying that there are things that God gives to you in accordance with what you ask. Some radical early Sufis believed that in the same way that it is wrong to complain to human beings about what God has given you, it is equally wrong to complain to God, even that speaking is apparently complaining, that God, I have such and such problem, cure it. So see, even the supplication takes a form of a rebellion, according to them. But Ibn Arabi does not accept this. Praying to God, that supplication does not equal complaint towards God. You can ask for things. You can ask God to give you khair, to give you goodness instead of a suffering, instead of a difficulty. Look at the Prophet Ayub, Ibn Arabi says. Although at first it was not the case, he suffered the illness he was having, but he was suffering because he knew that was right. That was not the right time. He had the knowledge of that. But when the right moment came, and we will discuss this, he prayed, and God accepted his prayer and cured him. Therefore, Ibn Arabi distinguishes between destiny and what is destined. Destiny in Islamic tradition is something to be accepted. But do you know what is destined to you? You do not. So how come are you happy? Are you enduring a pain, a suffering, in the name that it came to me from God? The same God answers your prayers. If not, what would be the point of prayer? Yes, there are some sufferings, there are some difficulties that are not to go away. They are there to stay. But not all suffering cases are like this. And Ibn Arabi points this out, criticizes those Sufis, saying that, look, there are things that you should ask for change, and God will. In what follows, Ibn Arabi points to this Quranic verse, chapter 2, verse 186, saying that God says to the Prophet, when they ask you about me, tell them that I am nearest to them. Tell them to call on me, and I answer. Then some took issue with this. God says directly that I answer, but we have prayed hundreds of times for certain things, but we don't have them. Here Ibn Arabi distinguishes between 2 points again. He says what is meant in this verse is not that God bestows what you asked at that moment, but rather God answers to you who is calling on God. What is given to you may be given to you, may be bestowed upon you at that moment, maybe not. But God answers you. Call upon me and I will answer you. But why are some prayers, some askings not bestowed? We ask things verbally, or we ask things, as Ibn Arabi told us at the beginning of this chapter, based on our states. We put ourselves into a position that it's obvious what we want. But stronger than these two is our asking in our reality, in our fixed entity. Ibn Arabi says, quote, "Your aptitude is the most hidden asking." And for him, human aptitude in their fixed entity, in their reality, is the strongest request, is the strongest asking. Sometimes verbally you ask for something, but your reality necessitates, requires something else, and God gives. And you're surprised, what happened? I asked God for such and such. Ibn Arabi says, you did ask that verbally. Your reality, your capacity requires something else, and that is the stronger request. These two sessions are going to be controversial to some people. That's because this video has come out of the context that we examined it in. This is a short part of a kind of long video series. You need to watch all those videos and you need to read the chapter to understand what Ibn Arabi means by these seemingly controversial claims. So if you're interested, join our Fuṣūṣ al-Ḥikam course, and let's unpack Fuṣūṣ al-Hikam's intricacies and Ibn Arabi's complex thought together. Thanks for watching.